My child, listen carefully. Do not rush past this moment, because what is about to happen in the next 28 minutes is directly connected to your life in a way you cannot yet see. This is not random. This is not just another message appearing in your path. Something hath been set in motion, and you were led here for a reason. You feel it, don't you? That quiet pull in your spirit, that sudden pause in your thoughts, that feeling that something about this moment is different. That is not your imagination. That is me reaching you before something shifts. My child, in 28 minutes, something is going to change. And if you ignore this now, if you turn away like you have in other moments, you may miss what has been prepared for you behind the scenes. I did not bring you here to entertain you. I brought you here to prepare you. There is a reason your heart hath been restless lately. A reason your mind has been overwhelmed. A reason you have felt tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. You have been carrying weight you were never meant to carry alone, and you have been searching for answers in silence, wondering why things feel delayed, why nothing seems to move the way you expected. But what you don't realize is that something has been building quietly, something has been aligning beyond what your eyes can see. And now, the timing is no longer distant. It is close. Closer than you think. My child, this is a warning and an invitation at the same time. Do not treat this moment lightly. Do not scroll away thinking you will come back later. Later is not what brought you here. Now is what matters. Because in the next 28 minutes, a shift begins. Not just around you, but within you. And if your heart is not open, if your spirit is distracted, you may not recognize it when it arrives. I am speaking to you now because I need your attention. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Right now. This moment is fragile, and it carries something meant specifically for you. So stay. Stay with me for these next few moments. Do not let your mind wander. Do not let the noise pull you away again. Because what is about to unfold will shock you, and it will only make sense if you choose to listen now. Stop right here, my child. Do not scroll. Do not look away. Do not let your attention drift even for a second. This moment requires you fully. I need you present, not half listening, not distracted, not rushing through these words the way you have rushed through so many things that mattered. Pause. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal is not something you can afford to miss. This is not just another message among many. This is not something you can come back to later and expect it to carry the same weight. There is a timing to this, a precision to this moment that cannot be repeated in the same way again. My child, I know how quickly you move through your days. I know how often your mind jumps from one thought to another, how your attention is pulled in 100 directions, how you have trained yourself to scroll past things without truly absorbing them. But not this time. You must not treat this moment like all the others. Jay, I am asking you directly, with urgency in my voice, do not leave now. Do not convince yourself that this is just another passing feeling. Do not tell yourself you will return later when you have more time. Later is where so many important moments have been lost for you. Later is where clarity faded. Later is where opportunity slipped quietly out of your hands. This is not later. This is now. And now is where everything begins to shift. My child, there are moments in your life that carry weight far beyond what you can immediately understand. Moments that look simple on the surface, but are deeply significant beneath. This is one of those moments, and if you move past it too quickly, you will miss the depth of what is being placed before you. I need your stillness. Let the noise settle for just a moment. Let the endless thoughts quiet down. Let the pressure of everything you've been carrying loosen its grip, even if only for a short time. You do not have to solve everything right now. You do not have to fix your entire life in this moment. But you do need to listen. Because this concerns you more than you realize. There are things unfolding around you that you cannot yet see. There are movements taking place that your mind cannot fully comprehend. And yet, your spirit recognizes that something is happening. That is why you are still here. That is why you didn't scroll away immediately. That is why something inside you is holding on to these words. Do not ignore that feeling. That feeling is not random. It is not meaningless. It is the part of you that knows this moment matters. My child, I am not asking for your perfection. I am not asking you to have everything figured out. I am not asking you to suddenly become strong or fearless. I am simply asking for your attention, your presence, your willingness to stay and hear what needs to be heard. Because if you leave now, you will walk away from something that was meant to reach you at the exact moment you needed it most. And I do not want you to miss this again. You have missed enough moments already. Moments where I tried to reach you softly, gently, quietly, and life pulled you away before you could fully receive what was being given to you. But this time, I am speaking more clearly, more directly, more urgently. This time, I am asking you to stay. Stay, even if your mind tells you to move on. Stay, even if you feel restless. Stay, even if you don't fully understand yet. Because understanding will come but only if you remain. My child, this moment is not casual. It is not ordinary. It is not something you can brush aside without consequence. There is a reason your attention has been captured right now. There is a reason you are reading these exact words at this exact time. And that reason will only become clear if you choose to remain here with me. So do not move. Do not rush. Do not disconnect. Stay with me because what comes next will begin to reveal why this moment could change everything for you. My child, I see you in ways no one else truly does. I see beyond the surface, beyond the smile you show the world, beyond the words you choose to speak. I see the quiet weight you carry every single day, the kind of weight that no one notices because you've learned how to hide it so well. You have been tired not just physically, but deep in your soul. A kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. You wake up some days already feeling drained, already feeling like you have to push yourself just to get through what lies ahead. And even when you rest, your mind does not stop. Your thoughts keep moving, your worries keep circling, your heart keeps holding on to things you don't know how to release. I know how confusing it has been for you. There were moments when you thought you were doing everything right, yet things still fell apart. Moments when you gave your best, but it didn't feel like enough. Moments when you trusted, when you hoped, when you believed something good was finally coming, and instead, you were met with disappointment. That confusion stayed with you, didn't it? You began to question yourself. You wondered if you missed something, if you made the wrong choices, if you were some other reason things didn't work out. And slowly, without even realizing it, that confusion turned into doubt. Doubt in your path, doubt in your future, sometimes even doubt in yourself. My child, I saw every one of those moments. I saw the nights when you lay awake, staring into the darkness, thinking about everything that went wrong. I heard the silent questions you were too afraid to speak out loud. The why is this happening to me? The when will things change? Am I really alone in this? You were not alone. Even in your loneliness, when it felt like no one truly understood what you were going through, I was there. When you felt surrounded by people but still somehow empty inside, I was there. When your heart felt heavy and you didn't know who to turn to, I was still there, closer than you realized. But I know it didn't always feel that way. Because loneliness is not just about being physically alone. It's about feeling unseen, unearned, misunderstood. It's about carrying thoughts and emotions that you don't know how to share because you fear no one would truly understand even if you tried. You have been carrying so much in silence. Pain you never fully expressed. Disappointments you brushed aside. Feelings you buried because you didn't want to seem weak. You told yourself to stay strong, to keep going, to not let anything break you, but inside, you were slowly wearing down. And still, you kept going. And strength, I saw it. Even when you felt like giving up, you did. Even when everything inside you wanted to stop, you kept moving forward. Even when you felt empty, you still showed up for your life, for your responsibilities, for the people around you. But my child, just because you kept going does not mean it was easy. I know how heavy it has been. I know how confusing it has felt. I know how alone you have been in moments you didn't think anyone noticed. And I need you to understand this clearly. None of it was invisible to me. Every tear you held back, every moment you almost broke, every silent cry you carried in your chest, I saw it all. I felt it with you. You were never ignored. You were never forgotten. You were never abandoned. Even in your lowest moments, even when your faith felt weak, even when your heart felt distant, I was still right there beside you, watching, waiting, understanding every part of what you were going through. And that is why this moment matters so much. Because everything you have been feeling, the pain, the confusion, the loneliness, the exhaustion, it has all led to this point. My child, listen closely now, because what you thought was working against you was never meant to destroy you. It was shaping you. It was preparing you. It was protecting you in ways you could not understand at the time. You looked at the delays and thought they were rejection. You looked at the closed doors and thought they were failure. You looked at the losses and believed they were endings. But they were not what they seemed. That opportunity that slipped away, it was not taken from you to harm you. It was removed because it was not aligned with where you are being led. I saw what you could not see. I knew what would have unfolded if you had stepped through that door. What you called a mischance was actually a moment of protection. That person who walked out of your life you held on so tightly, believing they were meant to stay. You questioned yourself when things fell apart. You wondered what you did wrong. But my child, that separation was not punishment. It was preservation. I removed what would have slowly drained you, what would have distracted you, what would have pulled you further away from the path you are meant to walk. You felt the pain of it deeply. You carried the confusion quietly. But there was purpose in that removal. And those moments when everything seemed to fall apart at once, when nothing made sense, when you felt like you were losing control, those were not signs that your life was breaking beyond repair. Those were moments where I was rearranging things beneath the surface. You could not see it then. You could not understand it then. But something was being shifted. My child, even your heartbreak had meaning. That pain you tried to ignore, that ache that stayed with you longer than you expected, it softened parts of your heart that had become guarded. It brought you to a place where you began to search deeper, to question more honestly, to feel more intensely than before. You thought it was weakening you, but it was opening you. And the confusion you've carried, the constant wondering of why, it was not meant to leave you lost forever. It was guiding you toward this very moment where clarity begins to form. Nothing you went through was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single sleepless night. Not a single moment where you felt like you were falling apart. Every part of it was being woven together, even when it felt scattered and meaningless to you. You saw chaos, but there was order behind it. You saw delay, but there was timing behind it. You saw loss, but there was redirection behind it. My child, I need you to release the belief that your past was filled with mistakes that ruined everything. You have carried that weight for too long. You have replayed moments in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently, wishing you could go back and change things. But if you had taken a different path, you would not be here right now. And this moment, this exact moment, is where everything begins to make sense. The struggles shaped your strength. The silence deepened your awareness. The waiting stretched your patience. The pain refined your heart. You were not being pushed away, you were being positioned. Even when it felt like you were moving backward, even when it felt like nothing was progressing, there was movement happening in ways you could not measure. You were being prepared for something you could not have handled before. My child, you asked for change, but change requires transformation. And transformation is not comfortable. It does not happen without moments of breaking, without moments of uncertainty, without moments where you feel like you are losing your footing. But you did not fall apart. You are still here. And that alone is proof that everything you went through did not defeat you, it built you. So do not look back with regret anymore. Do not label your past as failure. Do not believe that those moments were meaningless. They were necessary. Because what is coming next requires the version of you that was shaped through all of it. And now you are closer than ever to understanding why it all had to happen this way. My child, something is shifting and you can feel it even if you cannot fully explain it. There has been a subtle change in the atmosphere around you, a quiet tension building beneath the surface of your life. Things do not feel the same anymore, do they? That is not your imagination. Time is not as open as you think. You have been moving as if there will always be another chance, another moment, another opportunity to pause and listen. But I need you to understand this clearly now. This moment carries a weight that cannot be delayed. You cannot afford to ignore this, because what is approaching is not small. It is not insignificant. It is something that will touch your path, your decisions, your direction. And if you are not aware, if you are not aligned, you may find yourself unprepared for what unfolds. My child, I am not speaking to create fear in you. I am speaking because I love you too much to let you walk forward unaware. There are moments in life where everything can shift quickly, where one decision, one reaction, one moment of awareness can change the direction of everything that follows. You are standing near one of those moments. That is why your spirit hath been restless. That is why your thoughts have been unsettled. That is why you have felt a pressure you could not name. Something has been growing closer. You may have tried to ignore it. You may have distracted yourself, filled your time, pushed the feeling aside, telling yourself it is nothing. But deep inside, you know something is different. This is that moment revealing itself. My child, there are forces that try to pull you away from clarity, distractions that keep you busy but not fulfilled, thoughts that confuse you just enough to keep you uncertain. And if you continue to move without awareness, you risk stepping into patterns that will only repeat the same cycles you have been trying to escape. That is why I am calling you now. Because you cannot keep moving the same way and expect a different outcome. You cannot keep ignoring the signs and expect clarity to appear on its own. You cannot keep delaying what your spirit knows needs your attention. This moment matters more than you realize. Something is coming and it is closer than you think. The next 28 minutes are not just time passing. They are a window. A narrow space where awareness begins to rise, where understanding starts to form, where you are being given the chance to see things differently before they fully unfold. But only if you stay present. If you drift again, if you lose focus again, if you treat this like every other moment you rushed through, you may miss what is being placed right in front of you. My child, you have already felt what it is like to look back and realize you overlooked something important. You have felt the weight of "I should have paid more attention." You have experienced the frustration of seeing things clearly only after the moment has passed. I do not want that for you again. That is why I am increasing the urgency now. Do not treat this lightly. Do not assume this is just words. Do not convince yourself that this can wait, because it cannot. There is a shift happening, and you are being invited to recognize it before it fully arrives. Not after. Not once it has already affected your path, but now while you still have the space to align yourself with it. My child, this is where many people turn away. This is where they feel the weight of the moment and choose distraction instead. This is where they sense something deeper and decide it is easier to ignore it. But you are still here, and that means something. It means you are being given a chance to respond differently this time. A chance to stay, to listen, to become aware before things unfold. Because what is coming will require you to be ready. My child, this moment right here, right now, is not like the others you have passed through. There is something different about it. Something set apart. Something chosen. You were not brought here by accident. Every step you took today, every delay, every distraction, every thought that led you here, it was all aligned so that you would arrive at this exact point in time. You may not understand how, but nothing about this moment is random. This is your turning point. Not a small shift. Not a temporary feeling. This is the moment where everything begins to move in a new direction, but only if you recognize it for what it is. My child, you have stood at many moments before, moments that could have changed things for you, but you were too overwhelmed to see them clearly. Too distracted to stay present. Too tired to respond fully. But this moment is different. Because now you are aware. You feel the weight of it. You feel the stillness pressing in around you. You feel something inside you becoming quiet enough to finally listen. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. You have been brought into alignment with this moment. Everything you have gone through, every pain, every delay, every unanswered question, it has led you here. Not to break you, but to prepare you for this exact point where you are ready to see differently, to respond differently, to choose differently. This is where your path begins to change. But understand this, my child, a turning point is not something that forces you forward. It is something that invites you. It presents you with awareness, with clarity, with a choice. And now you must choose. Will you stay aware, or will you drift again? Will you listen deeply, or will you let distraction take you? Will you recognize this moment, or will you treat it like all the others? Because what happens next depends on that. My child, you are standing at a doorway. Not a physical one, but something deeper. A doorway in your awareness, in your understanding, in your direction. And on the other side of it, things are not the same as they were before. But you cannot step through it unconsciously. You cannot walk into what is next while holding onto the same patterns, the same distractions, the same way of moving through your life. That is why this moment is asking for your full presence. This is where you slow down. This is where you pay attention. This is where you stop running from what your spirit has been trying to show you. Because everything is aligning now. The confusion is beginning to clear. The noise is starting to fade. The weight you have been carrying is beginning to loosen. You may not fully feel it yet, but it has already started. My child, this is the moment where your perspective begins to shift. Where you stop seeing everything as random and begin to understand that there has been meaning behind it all. where you stop questioning if anything will change and begin to realize that change is already in motion. But you must stay here. Do not rush past this turning point. Do not let your old habits pull you away. Do not let your mind wander into doubt or distraction. Because this moment is fragile and yet powerful at the same time. It is fragile because it requires your attention. It is powerful because it can change your direction. You have been asking for something to change, for clarity, for peace, for movement in your life. This is where it begins. Not somewhere else. Not later. Not when everything feels perfect. Here. Now. My child, you are not the same person you were before this moment. Even now, something within you is shifting. Something is becoming clearer. Something is opening. And this is only the beginning. Because what comes next will show you exactly why you were brought here today. My child, listen closely now, because what you have been waiting for is no longer distant. It is not something far away in the future anymore. It is not something reserved for someday. What you have been praying for, crying for, hoping for in silence, it is beginning to move toward you even now. You are not stuck the way you believe you are. I know there were moments when you felt trapped in the same patterns, the same emotions, the same unanswered questions. You thought nothing was changing. You thought you were standing still while everything else moved forward. But what you could not see was that I was working beneath the surface the entire time. While you were waiting, I was preparing. While you were doubting, I was aligning. While you were feeling lost, I was positioning things in your favor. And now that preparation is turning into movement. My child, the heaviness that hath been sitting on your heart is beginning to lift. Not all at once, but slowly, gently, in a way that you will start to notice if you pay attention. The confusion that clouded your thoughts will begin to clear. The noise that overwhelmed your mind will begin to quiet. The emptiness you felt will begin to fill with something you have not felt in a long time. Peace. Real peace, not temporary, not forced. Not something you have to pretend to feel, but something that settles deep inside you and stays. This is your healing beginning. You may not wake up tomorrow with everything perfect. You may not see every answer instantly. But you will begin to feel a shift within you. A strength rising. A calmness forming. A clarity returning. And that is how your breakthrough starts. My child, what is coming into your life is not here to confuse you. It is not here to hurt you. It is here to restore what hath been worn down inside you. To rebuild what felt broken. To bring back the parts of you that life tried to take away. You have been asking for change, and now change is responding to you. But listen carefully, this is where you must respond to. You cannot receive what is coming while staying closed. You cannot step into what is prepared while holding on to fear. You cannot move forward while clinging to the same doubts that kept you stuck before. This is your moment to open. My child, I am not asking you for perfection. I am not asking you to have everything figured out. I am asking for your yes, your willingness, your openness, your decision to believe even if your mind still has questions. Because belief is what allows the shift to fully take place. And right now you are standing at the edge of that shift. So I want you to respond. Not silently, not passively, but intentionally. If you feel this message in your heart, if something inside you is telling you that this moment is real, that this is not just words but something deeper reaching you, then declare it. Comment amen if you believe something is changing for you. Type I receive if you are ready to accept what is being prepared. Say yes if you are choosing not to ignore this moment again. Do not hold back. Because when you respond, You are not just typing words, you are aligning your spirit with what is already in motion. You are stepping out of hesitation and into agreement. You are opening the door for what had been waiting for you. My child, your breakthrough does not require perfection. It requires participation. It requires you to step forward, even if it is just one small step of faith. And this is right here is that step. You are closer than you have ever been. Closer to peace. Closer to clarity. Closer to the change you have been longing for. Do not doubt it now. Do not shrink back now. Do not let fear or overthinking pull you away at the very moment things are beginning to shift. Because what is coming carries relief you have been craving, answers you have been seeking, and a sense of direction you thought you had lost. This is your breakthrough beginning to take form. This is your moment becoming real. And my child, this is only the beginning of what is about to unfold. My child, do not ignore this moment. Do not treat it like something small, something ordinary, something you can walk away from without consequence. You have reached a point that many never recognize until it is too late. And I am telling you now, this moment matters more than you understand. You felt something while listening, didn't you? That stillness, that quiet weight, that unexplainable pull in your spirit. That was not coincidence. That was me reaching you, calling you, bringing you closer to what has been prepared for you. Do not walk away again. You have done that before. You have felt moments like this, moments where something deep inside you stirred and then life distracted you, pulled you away, and you told yourself you would return later. But later never held the same power as now. And I do not want you to lose this again, because something has already begun. Even if you cannot see it yet, even if everything around you looks the same, something within you has shifted. A seed hath been planted. A door has been opened. A path has been revealed. And what happens next depends on what you do after this. Stay connected. Stay aware. Stay open. Do not go back to moving blindly. Do not return to the same patterns without thought. Do not let the noise of the world drown out what your spirit has just recognized. Because what is coming will test your awareness. And if you remain connected, you will see clearly. If you remain open, you will receive fully. If you remain present, you will understand why this moment had to happen. My child, I am with you. I have always been with you. And I am not leaving you here without guidance. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of your awareness. There is more ahead. More clarity. More direction. More that will unfold in ways you cannot yet imagine. But you must not ignore what has started. Stay with me, because what unfolds after this will reveal everything. My child, as this moment settles into your spirit, understand this: the seed that was just planted in you is meant to reach far beyond you. Every word you receive carries the power to become light in someone else's darkness, to become water in someone else's dry season. As it is written, give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I speak this over you now as a living promise. When you choose to give, you are not supporting a channel, you are opening the heavens for more souls to be reached, more hearts to be restored, more lives to be changed. Now hear this clearly. I place this opportunity before you, so that through your hands, my message may travel where your voice cannot go. This is your moment to sow into something eternal. The link is already waiting for you in the description, and even before you leave this moment, you can see at the doorway to give the QR code placed before your eyes. Do not delay this. Do not overthink this. What you release today will return to you in ways you cannot measure. As you give, I will multiply. As you sow, I will open doors. As you respond, I will bless your obedience. Act now and become part of the harvest.